Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like forever ago since we've seen each other last, but here we are. I took a week off, and now it's Super Bowl 58 right here in front of us. Chiefs, Niners. Oh my God, first Super Bowl in Vegas. Taylor Swift in the mix. So much excitement, boys. Niners -2 now. So Chiefs 47.5 is the over-under. Zesty, I know you talked about earlier liking the under. You're on several unders. Tell us a little bit about how you feel about this game's going to go, and then we'll hear how the anonymous betting public feels.
Welcome, my fellow degenerates.
Actually, before we talk about the Super Bowl, can you talk about the run that you had up to the Super Bowl, just so you can give us a little recap of a little heater you've been on?
I don't recall.
Copy that. Man, a few words. I like it, though. No boasting.
No, it's been quite a run. There's been a few mortgage payments put away. We take this very seriously here, myself and the group involved. So listen up, educate yourself, respond. We welcome criticism, but at the end of the day, we're here to play a little bit of math. I should be a school teacher because there would be a lot smarter kids in math, because I know damn well if they told me I could do a little bit of addition and subtraction and watch sports, I would be an academic. And instead of that, I am a degenerate. So here we are.
Damn right.
Just like this close to being a sports betting economist.
Hey, I'm holding out hope for you. You could be on CNBC before long.
Colorado School of Mines is going to give you an honorary PhD.
Yeah. One day at a time.
Give us that solid info that we can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. So
what do you think?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned AFC -110 to win the Super Bowl. We are now Chiefs plus 102. Nothing has changed other than the team. When the the Niners were trailing, it was even money or -110. Chiefs were the favorite. So there's been quite a bit of the money grab, and don't quote me specifically, but I believe about 17% of the market's holding the line at -2, -1.5, which is created off of nothing. If you look at the look ahead line, it wasn't quite to that. So that tells me there's been a little increase for the Niner love. And then, of course, the public and everybody that wants the Chiefs to win are backing them. Everybody today, the Chiefs can't lose. Really, if you look back at the Ravens game, they were lucky to survive that game. It was the Steelers. I can't remember the year. They were the only team to win a game in the playoffs, or at least that round of the playoffs, without scoring a point in the second half. So it's not as if their defense was overly dominant, because they were. They did a very good job. But there was 3 potential scoring opportunities. At worst, we'll call it, with Justin Tucker 9 points. More than likely, it was probably closer to 11, give or take, which the Ravens would have been covered, and then it would have been into this game favored. Obviously, didn't happen. I'm talking about it just because trying to give it a little background. So all of a sudden, the Chiefs again are dogs. You look at everything. Patrick Mahomes doesn't lose as a dog. Blah, 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 blah. Andy Reid over a bye doesn't lose. Shanahan gave up 28-3 as an offensive coordinator. Lost to him in the Super Bowl. Lost to him in the regular season 2 years ago. I don't buy it. The only thing that really seems true to me as of this evening, total hasn't moved. 47.5. We both believe both defenses are good. I know the Niners have struggled and they've been called out with effort. I can almost assure you anybody that has been in athletics, when you get called out for effort, the immediate next game, especially if you have 2 weeks and you were talked about dogging in your effort, you're going to come out and you're going to ball out. So, to that, the way I'm playing this as of now, I will have some bullets to play as the line gets a little wider. I see a little bit of value. First quarter, excuse me, -9.5. If one of these teams score, I believe their first drive is going to take quite a bit of time. I don't think a big play is going to happen, which then leads to the next receiving team probably going to take an equal amount of time. I think first quarter, second quarter, it's a Super Bowl. They're going to take some time to kind of funnel in, figure themselves out, which then will lead to my third quarter probably being the highest scoring quarter, maybe second half. But I think the third quarter coming out of the halftime, they'll be able to maybe scheme up something and actually put a couple touchdowns together. My biggest bet is under 47.5. So we've had a bunch of movement. We have a bunch of money, specifically on the Chiefs, but their team total hasn't moved. The Niners team total has actually gone up as far as their price value going down. So they're not moving off the number, because if it gets to 24, there's a potential buy down. I think both teams do score under 24, but as far as the game, I think the game totals, not necessarily the better play, but a better play for that it allows you in the event of a blowout. I don't think that's going to happen, but largest lead is I looked at it the other day. It's like 13.5, and it's a relatively decent number. So it's very possible that one team does score back-to-back touchdowns, and then we have the playback. But I think both of these defenses are good and legit. The Niners did get ran on versus the Lions, but they've had 2 weeks, and they just got their character called into play. I think they're actually going to show up. A little bit of pushback. We've already heard the crying and moaning about the holding. I forget the referee crew, but they are the least or top or whatever you want to say on calling offensive holding. So I don't think there's going to be some bailouts and long or drive killing due to holding. But I do think this Niner team has the same DNA that the Buccaneers had when they beat Patrick Mahomes. I think they can push. I don't think Chase Young is worth a whole hell of a lot. but they do have three other guys that can create pressure. He might be a benefactor of the pressure. To that, I think the Chiefs, they can scheme, but if they're going to scheme, that means they're a completely different team, so they're going to try to run the ball. That's the strength of the Niners. They have great linebackers. They have a cover corner. So I think the linebackers can cover Kelsey. I think they can stop the run and force. This is very odd. Nobody's forced Patrick Mahomes to actually throw the ball because I think that's when they are less effective. If you look at the Raiders game, I know that was decades ago, but they got after him and they continued to get after him. And that forces young receivers or unexperienced or unproven receivers to actually win against relatively competent corners. So then you go to Purdy, first Super Bowl. The Chiefs do a good job against the run game. Shanahan schemes very well. But again, off script, what's he going to be able to do? Is the lights going to be too bright? Are they going to sputter? I just think both of these teams are going to – I think it's going to be very entertaining, but I think it's also going to be way different than public thinks. I think it's going to be God, if we get the 44 points, I'd be surprised, to be honest with you. If you wanted to play that, I think this is going to be possession throughout. Punts are going to be – I'm sure there's a prop on it. I would take the over on punts. I have no idea what it is, but as I said, I just think both these teams are going to play around with one another, not make the mistake, play field position, and you might see the most exciting 12-yard play in your entire life because it just means that much more because the game is going to be a little more condensed. Could be completely wrong, and it could be 40-37. It'd be very exciting. I don't see that in the cards. Too explosive, or well, in theory, explosive offense. Kansas City is not an explosive offense, but everybody believes that they are. And the Niners have shown they are, but when they stepped up against relatively decent competition, I know I'm going to say the Vikings, and everybody's going to furrow their brow. But they had a very good defensive coordinator, and they were able to scheme. Obviously, Purdy was hurt during that time, but they had that 3-game losing streak. The Browns, the Vikings. The Browns, very good defense, struggled. I know Purdy wasn't involved, so I won't hit on it too much, but they do have hiccups when things get off script. And I think the Chiefs can get them off script, but the Chiefs themselves have shown doesn't take a whole hell of a lot to get them a little frustrated. I mean, the Raiders. Again, everybody wants to say, oh, that's not Kansas City playoff Mahomes. Doesn't matter. It's still the same. If you have the dudes that do this, I think both teams honestly have hit a wall. I love the first quarter under of 9.5 as of yesterday. I'm not sure what it is now, but I don't think there's a lot of first quarter scoring. I still think the third quarter might be the highest scoring because a team might be trailing. They might get to the point that they make an adjustment, and then they make an adjustment on the adjustment. But I hammer the under on both team total unders. You're getting plus money on the Niners. You're getting minus money on the Chiefs. So essentially, they're playing a 17-20 game. They will decide it. So at some point, it's going to get to the point that each possession matters even more. That they're not going to go for it on first down or 4th and 1. They're going to punt it, play it, try to play the field position, get the field goal.
Right.
Chiefs have the better field goal kicker. They have the better quarterback. They've been here. Arguably, they have the better quarterback or coach. Excuse me. Obviously, they have a better quarterback. Going into it, there was a lot to love, but looking into it, there's a little bit to fade. Andy Reid is very good off of bye, but he's kind of hit a wall in the bigger games. I am a little skeptical of Wilkes, but I think he's got the guys to play the defense. So long-winded. I don't expect a lot of scoring. What say you?
Public. How about you? You rooting for the points? Seeing the points?
Well, if we don't get a lot of points, what a huge disappointment considering we have Patrick Mahomes and the 49ers' brilliant offense. So that'll kind of suck from that perspective. But I struggle to think that you're wrong here. From my point of view, I do like the under as well. I think that the defense for San Francisco can be attacked with the run, which lends itself to the under because they're going to try and play possession. They're going to try and do the same thing that Green Bay and that Detroit did to San Francisco early on in the game. So to me, Chiefs try and mimic that approach. San Francisco may have been able to clear some things up. I hope you're right, or I would assume you're right too about the whole effort thing. I come from the same background, so if somebody was in my ass on the film room for a day and a half pointing out how I'm chicken shit and I sucked and I didn't give effort, then yeah, I agree 100%. Next game you're going to come out firing. So that alone, I think, could make the difference between getting dominated in the run and only getting beat a little bit. So rather than having those big runs and leading to scoring drives, you're getting drives that shut down. You're getting drives that lead to a field goal instead of a touchdown. Chase Young might even play hard. You never know. The line to me is tough. I'm really confused by the fact that there's 87% of the money on Kansas City, and I haven't seen anybody really push it to 3. Maybe it's gotten there in a couple places, but nobody wants to get off of 2 or 2.5. I think that's probably because the 49ers have so much respect, but I don't know why the money based on the imbalance, you would think would have moved the line closer to even because the Chiefs are getting so much love as the dog. But the books have said no and not gone that route, which leads me to believe they think San Francisco is the better team overall. And I worry about that because you have Andy Reid. You also have Spagnuolo 2 weeks to prepare for San Francisco. And San Francisco being in a position where we have talked about Brock Purdy in some of the offline conversations. Purdy, to me, Cam made the whole comment about him being a game manager and, not a game changer. And again, I think if you go back and look at his original definition of those two things, you kind of see where it makes sense, depending on what you think of Brock Purdy. But the way that I think he's best explained is he does not care about taking chances. So he will throughout the game. And if he hits them and he's hitting those big deep throws like he likes to, getting no pressure and defense picking up the blitz or just not getting pressure with the 4-man front, he'll tear you up. But he's also not afraid to do some stupid shit. So he might throw it and hit a guy in the face mask and get lucky and Brandon Ayuk catches it. You never know. But he can also throw you a pick at any point in time, which is, preview for one of my props. I like Purdy to throw a pick. But for me, I think that Kansas City and the 49ers are going to have to keep the ball away from each other. That's got to be part of the scheme for Shanahan. It's just to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, especially it's just, defense has played so poorly recently. So he won't have faith in them. That's how they'll scheme. And I think that San Francisco can beat Kansas City, but I don't know that I foresee it happening. To me, as you stated, the value is in the unders. I also like some plays off of that from Propland. So longest punts for both teams. You got Kansas City's at 54.5 long punt, and San Francisco's at 56.5 long punt. So we'll get over that total, I think. I also like a longest field goal over 47.5. Going to have drives ending early, especially at the end of the half. I wouldn't be surprised if one or both teams tries a 50-plus yarder. And I think Butker can make it. That goofy bastard for the 49ers. I don't know about him so much, but he might get lucky and just punch one through. I don't know. So then we, to me, get on to the long shots of the day. And if you want to just fuck around for fun, Kyle Juszczyk, anytime touchdown, plus 800, just in case Shanahan tries to get a little freaky at the goal line or potentially mixes in a wheel route to the fullback down around the red zone. And I think that's where, to me, nodding all the points, offenses are going to be in a tough spot. It's interesting you mentioned the third quarter being the highest scoring. If you look at that from the books that I've looked, especially offshore, that's pretty good value right now, plus 490. Most of the money from their perspective is on the second quarter being higher scoring. So might tease into that third quarter higher scoring and follow your lead there. And then just in case we're totally fucking wrong about everything, you can take a long shot parlay at plus 4,900 or something of Mahomes over 325 yards, McCaffrey over 130, Kelsey over 130, and Kansas City to score more than 23.5. So if we are dead ass wrong about everything, throw $10 down there and you make all your shit back probably. So it'll be a fun day.
Hit that total band too.
If you are lucky enough to be in a casino, I would say take a look at the specials. Oftentimes you can find some value in things like over-unders on the national anthem. People love to go long on that shit. So if you can figure out what the average time to sing that song is and find that it's not too long above that, I'd hammer that. You got Usher at halftime, I believe. Post Malone is a musical act. Should be pretty entertaining down there in Vegas, and we shall see what happens.
Post Malone's the musical act before, or what?
He did something before, yeah. He's singing some song, like America the Beautiful or something.
Oh, interessante. I heard the anthem over under seconds is historically super low. Like people know something about the delivery. Let that be just another added tool in your fucking toolkit this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me this, fellas, before we move forward into deeper props and things like that. Why is the Ravens defense not better than the Niners? I don't know. I'm just trying to think about this in terms of like matchups and where the teams trajectories have been going. Are the Niners? Is the Niners defense better?
Yeah, but to what?
No,
So you take away the 3
None.
turnovers. I mean, like, you have to elaborate on it because yes or no. I mean, statistically,
On paper,
no, they're
on
not.
paper, let's say this: like, should the Niners linebackers be able to cover Kelsey better than the Ravens linebackers should have been able to? Tell me that, Cody.
Yeah, it
Very specifically.
could be scheme based.
Yeah,
Kansas City, outside of the first 17 minutes of driving, they didn't do shit.
yeah,
So I would say the Ravens offense failed them. Lamar specifically.
for sure, for sure.
I don't think it's to add to that. I would say, is the Niners defense as bad as they have been the last 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Or is Green Bay really good and Detroit really good? I would argue both those offenses are better, before I get destroyed here, than Kansas City. I'm not saying their quarterbacks are, but their offense and their scheme is more diverse versus Kansas City. Buffalo was a mass unit. Miami, get rid of this. It was fucking negative 30. Obviously, it was only 17. Obviously, that's way warmer. They didn't want to fucking play the game to begin with. But Buffalo, they didn't have the guys, and they still had an offensive. They had a chance to beat them. Didn't. Obviously, we said in the chat, you have to beat them first. Ravens, I was on the Ravens. I actually middled myself. I needed just some points in the 3 possessions that they had. And that would have been perfect. That didn't happen. But the defense, outside of being not demolished, but they did what they wanted to do. They wanted to keep it in front of them. You know, they made the adjustments. Kansas City wasn't able to do anything outside of the first 2 drives. Or I think it was the first 2 drives, or 2 of the 3, or whatever, the 9-minute and the 7-minute drive. Field goal. That's all they had. Like, they weren't able to progress further. There's an argument that's saying, oh, that's what they want to do. Horseshit. They want to score. They couldn't score, but their defense did a really good job of keeping them from scoring. Had they needed to score, I would probably bet that they could have potentially got to the point of scoring. But this idea that, hey, we're a hand it off and run it. The Niners are top. Without looking at it, I'm pretty sure top 2. In fact, I believe they're number 2 to the Ravens against the run. Or no, 3. Detroit, Baltimore, Niners. Detroit's number 1 because they were getting their, pardon my French, shit pushed in. They're like, we're tired of getting run against. We're going to bring everybody up. That's who we are. That's why they're number 1. That's why they sucked against the pass.
Last against the pass.
Teams that can play both sides, the Ravens and the Niners, are 2 and 3. Their defense of identity, the Niners specifically, whether it's Salas, Ryans, now Wilkes, it's all the same. It's not like they're bringing in new guys. They're bringing in guys with the same identity. Wilkes has been public enemy number one or whatever because they weren't the greatest thing in the world. The last Commanders was week 16, I think. To now, I would agree. There has been an effort issue. There's been we are very good. We're not going to play that hard, and we feel that way. But you get into the Super Bowl, these guys are going to ball. We got Kinlaw. Eric Armstead has been called out saying he's not even very good. He is very talented. I don't know if he's quite a Hall of Famer, but he is extremely talented. At some point, you start to hear this. You can't ball. And then when you're playing Patrick on the other side, everybody's going to ball out. They're going to give it their all. And it's one thing if they're better, but the Chiefs as a team are not better. And it's a good thing we didn't know the guard that replaced Tooney because he did well. But a lot of it was scripted, short passes. They got rid of the ball. They got it out. Patrick, very cerebral, smart. Nothing new there. What's lacking is they're not taking deep shots. I mean, they took the deep shot to end the game, but they've kind of got away with not having to do that. Or they played Buffalo. There was a mash unit that they were able to play a little more wide open, but this is going to be a punch in the face game. And I'm having a lot of flashbacks to the Buccaneers, and they're not going to be able to attack him like the Buccaneers did because they like to run the ball a little more, or they distribute short, quick, get it out. But the explosive plays are like non-existent. I don't even know what his over is, but I would take his over longest completion under, just for the fact that they're not going to be able to script I think it was like 35 or 40 yards or something like that. But they're not going to be able to script that play action, long draw, deep throw. If it does happen, it's going to be something quick, man, blitz, whatever, and he breaks free for the yardage. But they're not the Chiefs that everybody thinks they are, as far as wide open. And then, my favorite columnist, this is the greatest defense since the fucking 85 Bears or whatever, but it is a good defense. Spags, he adjusts to the opponent, but this offense is not that offense. I mean, they're not terrible because they're still Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They're going to figure it out, but it's long is what it is. It's supportive of the defense, not carrying the defense as it has in the other, 3 Super Bowls? So this is the 4th one, yeah. So the other 3 Super Bowls, they were carrying it. They were, hey, we're going to outscore you. We don't care. Now it's more, as the public said, Pacheco, tight ends, get the first down. Let's slow, instead of each team having handful of possessions, let's take a possession or two away from the other team. And I think both sides are going to play that way. The Niners specifically, I think they're going to play that way because they can. The Chiefs are going to play that way because that's how they win. And everybody's going to always turn the narrative that, hey, if Purdy throws it so many yards or so many times, they're going to lose. I would tend to agree, but that's not necessarily the case. If the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes throws it 46 times, they will lose. I guarantee you. That is just not in their script to win this year.
Well, public, you have any more props to throw at us, Zesty? You look at the props list yet and find any winners? Anything that stand out to you? I can say I do. I love what you're saying, both of you guys, about the unders. I just think back to one of your points, hit home to me. It's just every possession is going to become worth more and more as time goes on in the game, obviously. But, it's like it's the Super Bowl, obviously. That first possession, score or not, I think is going to take a long time for either of these teams because the name of the game is going to be hold on to that ball, limit the possessions, feed the run, and there's just no reason not to. Both of these teams are built on that. They have every reason to run the ball. It's a strength. And, maybe not as strong on the Chiefs side. Obviously, it's a huge strength on the Niners. But the Chiefs are just going to want to keep the ball as long as they can. So they got to mix in as much run. So even if they get the ball in that first possession, they win the toss and get the kickoff first, I believe they're going to try and hold on to that ball for the entire first quarter if possible. That's going to be the style of play. So hit those unders, folks. Hit those unders, hit those unders. I can't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And yeah, if we're wrong, we've given you the answer. The little parlay of overs on the Chiefs boys. Maybe a run CMC touchdown. Throw the same money on Isaiah Pacheco touchdown. Maybe hit a young Sky Moore touchdown prop. Be crazy with it. It's the Super Bowl. I've got you shaking your head now. Tell me why. Tell me what you're interested in.
Guy Moore's not scoring a touchdown, but maybe if Andy Reid's just thinking about getting too cute, or if Patrick Mahomes scrambles around and is just like, oh God, they all forgot about him too, then maybe. But I think the more, one prop I didn't talk about because I got too excited about the punts being so long in this game is the opportunity to take a little bit of money on Deebo Samuel over 13.5 rushing yards. I think that Shanahan will give him some carries, and if he gets 2, 3, 4 carries, then definitely 13.5 is in the mix. And even if he only gets one, he might bust it off for more than 13.5. So that's one area that I'd play. We talked about use check. I like all the team totals under. Again, to me, this comes down to if Purdy tries to give the Chiefs defense a play to make to change the game, do they make the play? Or several plays, maybe. Because he'll throw it up there. It's all a matter of whether or not you make the play.
I think
Yeah,
that's part of the reason why I like these receivers anytime touchdown props on both sides, because these quarterbacks will be throwing it up there. And it's not all game, but it's going to come to a point where all of a sudden somebody needs some points. And I also like that. Why not game plan? Why not strategize to force the Kansas City receivers to beat you and to have Patty Mahomes beat you throwing it to those receivers? So I like that. Maybe just throw a prop on one of those gentlemen to score because they're going to be forced into that hand, but not because I like the receivers game or the Kansas City receivers are standouts to me. But Zesty, what say you? Any more thoughts on any props or anything that you've seen looks tasty?
yeah, I'm gonna go cliche. That this is not any different than any game I would bet on a Tuesday afternoon or evening. But
Easy, coach.
if I were to get talked into something I just kind of came across. So first player to record a sack. We got Chris Jones at plus 650. Not terrible. Not terrible. And
Where's
then,
my man Karloftis?
600. So now then we go Kansas City, specifically sacks. Karloftis from Purdue, my boy, plus 330, or excuse me, 360. Chris Jones plus 400. Now we go to the Niners, specifically Nick Bosa plus 200. But no Niners sack is plus 400. And then everything from that is even more, which is interesting. But first sack plus 650. Jones feels very public. It's not going to be too terribly public because we're degenerates and we're looking a little far into it.
The slightly obscure prop.
Yeah, I'm not a huge prop fan. I know there's a lot of value in them.
This is just having fun. I got some real fun ones once you find that value, because I got some that are just bananas.
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I really like your punting props. I think both of them hit over. The Niners specifically, I think they do hit a 57-yarder.
Showing off that boot.
I mean, hell, I don't want to publicize this, but ESPN Bet has Purdy over 11.5 and Patrick Mahomes over 26.5 rushing yards. The fact that they're promoting it makes me tell me get the fuck out of here. But Purdy specifically, I do think might get to 12 or 15 or whatever his prop is. One scramble. I don't see a lot of sacks in this game. Which what the fuck is that?
I can't believe you don't trust the sports books to promote you the best bets.
Right, yeah. Same as both of them going over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's like
That's a dead ass wrong bet. If
Yeah.
we're dead
Yeah.
ass wrong,
Yeah, get out of here. Just like,
Hit that if you really just don't fucking buy anything we have to say on this show.
yeah, for an exact bet, I don't condone any of these, but I'm looking. Patrick Mahomes, 1 touchdown plus 185. 2 touchdowns, 175. I don't think he gets a 2. If you're going to go to 2, you should bet his over 1.5. That way you're not stuck to uh, 2 touchdowns or whatever that you're sweating if he gets to 3. Brock Purdy, similar. He's up there, but God, they have some weird ass shit. First pass. Where's the team?
Betting public, bring me some of that weird shit while he's looking for some more weird shit.
oh, I got weird shit for you. How about we start with Super Bowl halftime show? No. We'll start at the top. National anthem. National anthem. What color shoes will Reba wear? Give me plus 400 on red. She's a red
Fuck
boots
yeah.
girl.
Fuck yeah, all day.
Will Taylor Swift be shown during the national anthem? Abso-fucking-litely yes. And she'll be shown before Jason Kelsey, minus 150.
During the anthem? Come on now. Who's
During
singing it?
What the
during
fuck
the
are
anthem.
those things?
During the anthem, they just have to show Taylor Swift before Jason Kelsey. Minus 150. That's worth half a unit.
That's hilarious. That's a bet.
Then we're done fucking around at the start of the game. We're going to come back to semi-reality for prop bets, but really only for the Super Bowl. Coin toss. Tails. Minus 105. Don't be a douche. Don't bet on heads. Nobody bets on fucking heads. Moving on from the coin toss into the halftime show. Usher, will he wear sunglasses? Abso-fucking-lutely yes. Minus 200. Cash it all day. Will Taylor Swift be shown during the halftime show? No. Out of respect for Usher, they will wait until the end of the show because Usher will have several guests appearing on stage with him.
Dare I say, out of respect to the entire black community.
I think you dare. And that's plus 110, not showing Taylor during the halftime show. Good money on Taylor right there. Speaking of money on Taylor, Taylor Swift.
I like the anti-Taylor bet.
Taylor Swift specific props. Taylor Swift not showing cleavage. Minus 400, a lot of vig there, but it's a fucking win, okay? She's showing up in a jersey or one of those outfits that, what's his name? Juszczyk's wife made for her. She's not out here trying to show off. It's a goddamn football game. And she's a classic American girl. There will be no cleavage. Cash the check. Taylor Swift lipstick color. Minus 1,000 on red right now. But that's, you got to pay the vig. You know it's going to be red. It ain't going to be any other color. It ain't. And then,
right off of that,
moving down the list, this one is just fucking hilarious to me given what we know about this individual. Will Jackson Mahomes and Taylor Swift make a game day TikTok? I really fucking hope so. But I gotta hit the no, minus 1,100. Because the yes is just not good odds. Like it's minus 1,100 on the no, but you're only getting plus 550 on the yes. Come on, that's just weak. And then finally, this one, kind of a bet on Travis Kelce, kind of a bet on Taylor Swift. Will Travis Kelce do Taylor's heart hands during the game? If he scores a touchdown, I think that's a W. So I'm going to say no because I don't see Travis Kelce scoring a touchdown, and that's at minus 130. No hard hands. Anybody want to talk about actual football now?
What's his no touchdown? Look at that.
What's Travis Kelce no touchdown?
Oh well, while I was scrolling, I must I
Got lost in the no football bet.
I must have been lost and forgot about this last one, which is probably the funniest of all of them. Jason Kelce to be shirtless during the game. You can get a nice plus 135 on Kelce going bare chested in the game, but I think that's a bad bet. I'd take the minus 175 on not going bare chested. That was really a Buffalo Bills thing. He's super into them for some reason. So, sorry, Eagles fans, if you're going to lose your center to Buffalo Bills, but he appears to like them quite a bit. But that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's all the
Is
fun
there some
we can
kind
have.
Is there some sort of over-under on Jason Kelce sightings? Because I may hit that over.
I don't know. I didn't see that. Another one I
bit of
thought
a.
was
He's having a moment just as much as Taylor's having a moment right now.
as good as the Kelce bet on the hard hands is also a bet on Taylor Swift, or vice versa. It's not what I meant to say. The reverse of that. If you want to take a McCaffrey bet, so McCaffrey and Colpo to kiss on the field, minus 135. If you think the 49ers are going to win and McCaffrey's going to win close to the MVP or kick some ass, why not? Why not? Throw a little cash down. See if Olivia likes to throw a little PDA out there after the man wins the Super Bowl. You never know.
This is true. Zesty, find any more Zesty bets?
Yeah, some of those.
Because I have to disown myself for that entire segment. So.
Yeah, some of them were very comical. Don't remember them because I won't take any of them. I'm not discrediting any of them. I would rather stick to football, not lipstick or.
What about the Gatorade bat?
I don't even know if I could do a heart emoji. Gatorade bath, no. All this shit, to me, feels it could be manipulated. So I've never in my life ever bet that. But now we can get into back to, there we go. We got some heart
That
emoji.
was neat.
That's the AI.
Yeah. See,
I don't even know how it does that.
You're a pro.
So any of us can do that right now.
I might as well be Chris Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's just your AI.
I told my wife.
I'm Chris Angel.
Hey,
that's pretty neat, bro.
I told my wife Valentine's Day's either Saturday or next Saturday. So she can pick or choose. Anyway, back to football specifically. So if we believe unders are aside, teams with the most first downs, Chiefs, or excuse me, the Niners are favored slightly. But team total first downs are even at 20.5, which is crazy. So that doesn't make any sense to me. Compute it yourself. I don't think either one of them are getting to 21 first downs.
Yeah.
As we stated. So you can
bang it.
Yeah, get them both at plus 105 minus 20.5. Now we get a little further to the crucial down. third downs. And this is where I do think Kansas City does have the advantage. They are favored at minus 120 to have the most third down conversions because they might face the most third downs, which is also part of an argument. But then you look at, are they going to run into 11? So 11 of the 20 that they're going to convert doesn't make any sense. Like it seems a little high that they're going to convert 11. So I would take the under on that. The Chiefs specifically 5.5. So that, excuse me, that was game total. So the Chiefs are going to have equal third downs. So both of them are equally have third downs, but the Niners are going to be 10 cents better at plus 125 for 6 first down conversion or third down conversions. Doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. Then you get the fourth down conversions, 2 for the game, essentially 1.5 plus money. Don't see that happening either. Teams that have the longest drive, even money, coin flip. Vegas doesn't want nothing to do with that shit. Fucking pussies. Longest touchdown scored, 38.5, even money. I would take the under. Like I said, I think this game is going to be incremental 10, 5. You know, I just don't see anything getting over the top. Obviously, I'm boring. Love boring games. It seems a little high. Even given the fact that Purdy has I don't know what the fuck is air yards or whatever, but you know, most of it's yak. Kansas City's not going to allow a bunch of yak. Patrick is not going to be able to throw bombs. I actually like that bet quite a bit now that I'm looking at it. That's 3/4 or a third of a football field. I mean, obviously a little more, but I don't see anything big. Obviously, that's big play territory, but God, that really surprises me. Add that to the list. Under 38.5, longest touchdown. Team to score the longest touchdown, don't care. Shortest touchdown.
Add it to the fucking list.
Under 2 yards. Don't love
Mark
that
the
either.
fucking 0, dude.
Team to score the shortest touchdown. Even money. Both of them. Well, not even money, but both minus 115. Vegas is down the line with this shit. They don't. Yeah, there's no value in that. Team to score points. Either score 35. No value there. Longest field goal scored. I'm showing 46.5. You'd mentioned 47.5. Not a terrible bet. A yard for a field goal is not any different, especially if it's Bucker. I don't know if I would trust Moody. He can't hit a 30-yarder. This one is decent. Most points. Chiefs minus 120 in the first half. And if I read it correctly, I'm thinking it's team specifically.
Right.
Which would make sense. Kansas City is very porous in the second half. So obviously, I think they would score more in the first half, but I don't know. Chiefs, more points in first half. I would imagine they have them both broken down. And they're literally flip flopped, which would lead back into the third quarter bet we made. Kansas City just doesn't score in the second half. They haven't all year. I don't expect them to do it. Both to have leads. No value. Highest scoring total points. I would take it under 19.5. Big time. Like I said, God damn, I'll have to add that to my fucking. Hold on. Let me
Add it to the list.
add some shit to my list here as I'm looking at it.
What is that one? Under 19.5?
Yeah, for the highest scoring points.
High scoring quarter.
Mm-hmm. Lowest scoring under 5.
Yeah, I love that. 19.5 and a quarter. You
God,
see 3 touchdowns in a quarter in this game? I don't see it.
under 5.5 and a quarter is good too, I think.
Yeah, field goal 3-0 first quarter.
Yeah, I can see that too. I'm not each team 33 field goal. I don't give a fuck. Shortest field goal over 28.5. I don't feel that either.
Only if Dan Campbell's coming back to call plays.
Will there be a missed field goal? Yes. Would be plus 240 for the Niners. Yes, for the game, plus 110.
Wait. It's 240 for the Niners specifically, but it's 110 for either team.
Yes.
Take the
You got to
fucking
take the
Niners.
Niners, right? Like that dude, he's gonna miss one.
Right. Yeah, the Chiefs are plus 320. That's kind of a throwaway. Butker's outside of a block. He's not missing one.
Oh,
But yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense there. The math doesn't quite math up for the. I don't want to fucking bet on. Betting on fucking kickers is like betting on somebody to make a free throw. They fucking. First method of missed field goal. So no missed field goal is minus 140. Wide right, 375. Wide left, 400. Blocked, 1,600. Crossbar, 1,600. And short, which won't happen unless they attempt a 66-yarder, 2,500, which is seems like a second.
no. They don't have the doink off or how do they count that? Does crossbar count for all the uprights?
Yeah, they said hit post or crossbar. So
Okay.
short doesn't make contact with anything.
Fuck that. Throw money on the doink.
Yeah, no shit, right? First field goal. So now we're getting back to missed field goals. First one to miss a field goal is Niners minus 140. So at that point, you might as well take the plus 110 for missed field goal. Just
this is the problem that even bookmakers have in the Super Bowl is that they try to throw out everything under the sun. So you're going to be able to find some value or at least relative value on different bets because they're just getting lost out there.
Yeah. Or you're gonna just make dumb bets and not find any fucking value. Like a certain better that we were maybe or maybe not mentioning before the fucking show.
That is absolutely true. There's plenty of stupid to chase.
And
Well,
that's why they do it. They're just like, how much shit can we throw out?
But you watch this show, so you know that your money is obviously better spent on Taylor Swift to not show cleavage. And for
That's
that,
the fucking lock of the year. What's the
you
number
owe
on that?
us. It's minus
400?
400. Yeah.
Right.
yeah. So I just went through the
Throw it
field
on your
props.
parlay.
They have specific field goal props to the props I just said. We talked about the miss, blocked. So again, none of them make any sense. You can take the generic field goal blocked or field goal upright, and you're not really sacrificing too much. But when you put it specifically to a team, you're not seeing the value. Again, I don't want kickers involved in the game. I'm not going to play too much with it.
Right.
Oh, shit. Well, F you, mother effer. Number of turnovers over 3. 2.5 specifically is even. And I don't see a lot of turnovers in the game. Match punts. 8 punts. Plus money.
Eight punts seems like a lot.
It does seem like
Even
a lot.
for a defensive game.
It does seem
That's
like
a lot of
lot.
tries. A lot of tries at my
Yeah.
long punt.
Yeah, that's like
it is a lot of tries at that long punt. So I do like that number is so high.
this is right up Public's alley here, and then we'll call it an evening. 3-parter. Total accepted penalties 10.5 plus 120.
Mm,
I don't know. I think under. I think this is
that's
going
a
to
lot.
be NFL's like, we play a clean game, let it go. We're not going to fuck around. So I would say under.
That's fair.
Total yards of the first penalty. So this is telling me not a false start, not a chance, not an offsides. Over 5.5 minus 200. So under essentially a false start, legal contact,
Yeah.
Offsides, plus 160. I'm not that degenerate, but that is interesting.
Ooh, if I had a fucking player friend that could just jump offside for me.
All right. And then the first type of penalty, holding, is the favorite. Plus 275. False start, plus 325. But first penalty is plus 160. So, okay, now we're splitting the difference here. Offsides also plus 325. So you could almost do the two motherfuckers and assume that Juwan James gets called for his false start for getting out of his stance a little too quick. Interesting. Again, not that degenerate, but essentially they've already made their calls that they're gonna stuck on the whistle on that.
Yeah. They're thinking one way. That's funny.
Interesting. But that's all I got. I said a whole bunch of shit about
Well,
nothing.
boys, yeah, there's lots of good stuff in there from both of you. And, it's going to be a great game. First Super Bowl in Vegas. Big ass party.
Parlay it up.
Er-
Reba's red
Ursha
boots, Taylor's
show.
red lipstick, no cleavage.
It was tailor made.
And we will be back after the Super Bowl. So,
Rumor
ladies and
has it
gentlemen,
we have
have
college
fun.
basketball in our future.
Let's play some.
Enjoy the game. Enjoy until we see you next week, and we'll be talking a little basketball. We'll give a Super Bowl recap, and we'll get into it. Maybe do a little Major League Baseball talk. I know Zesty's
I gotta go
about to
learn some
buy
players'
MLB The
names.
Show.
We are
Take it easy, guys.
degenerates.
Good episode.
Adios.